Join me in welcoming Logan Smalley to the TEDx Atlanta stage.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you so much, Todd. Let's see. Okay. The theme of this, good morning, good afternoon. The theme of this conference is problem solving. In simplest terms, to solve a problem, you must first identify it, then articulate it, and then take a series of actions to alleviate the issues that cause it. The biggest problems in our world, problems that affect thousands, millions, even billions of people, they can't be solved by a single person. Progress on this scale is collaborative by nature. But how do you reach this scale? How do you communicate a problem to the masses? And what I hope to convince you today is that the modern approach to movie making is one of the most useful and underutilized tools available for collaborative problem solving. And Darius is a living example of that. When I say modern movie making, I don't just mean pointing a camera, editing, shooting, publishing. I mean, and I certainly don't mean the set them up, knock them down, move on approach of Hollywood. What I mean is the holistic and artistic approach to capturing an incredible story and then deliberately facilitating the transition of that story from movie to movement. Now, there's a bunch of movies that I could reference to make this point. These are a few examples. Most of them documentaries, all of them movements. But for the sake of time, I'm going to focus on two films. The one is one I'm most qualified to talk about and most lucky to have played a role in, Darius Goes West. And the other one is a film you're probably familiar with and one of the best examples of movie-turned-movement out there, and it's called Invisible Children. I'm going to start by introducing you to some of the Darius Goes West crew. This is John Harmon. He was a freshman in college when we started Darius Goes West. He just became a special ed teacher now. His favorite thing to do is watch Funny or Die videos on YouTube. This is my brother. I put this totally unflattering picture of him, which is a follow-through of the old days when I used to beat him up and pick on him. He was one of Darius's camp counselors. All these guys are from Georgia, by the way. And he is now a history teacher. He just started in Atlanta, actually. This is Jason. He's a music management major at Middle Tennessee State University. He now works for DGW and UPS, and he hasn't cut his hair in 2 years. And this is Sam. Sam was a freshman in high school when we started Darius Goes West. He's now maybe a sophomore at the University of Georgia. And the craziest thing about Sam is that he has a tattoo. I could go through the entire crew, and you would see an endearing but fairly regular group of dudes. So how did this motley crew manage to make a film that has won 28 awards? I'm going to tell you how we learned everything, or I'm going to show you how we learned everything that we know about filmmaking. We did something that everyone in this room can do. And the search results from our Google query brought a community forum, a free forum called DVX User. And DVX User is where film pros go and share trade secrets. And we made it our job to read everything on that website for free. And being the director, which in my case meant I've known Darius since the longest, since he was 5, it was my job to read everything on that website twice. So I pored over it. I posed question after question after question. And I got so stressed about what camera to use and what audio equipment to use. And I was just freaking out. And then this guru on there, this dude who had made like 500 award-winning films, he liberated me with one simple comment. He said, Logan, if you have a good story and you live it out and if you tell it in the right order, then it doesn't matter if you shoot the damn thing on a cell phone camera and record the audio with a Walkman. And he was right. We made the entire film, feature-length film of Darius Goes West on a camera that isn't much better than the one your dad might have gotten for Christmas. And now we have a movie that allows millions of people to relate to a relatively unknown disease. Invisible Children had a similarly sideways orientation to the world of filmmaking. 3 friends, college age, decided they wanted to go to Uganda. They took their camera, and when they got there, they found thousands of kids that were being abducted and forced to serve as child soldiers in the war in northern Uganda. They edited the film into a documentary called Invisible Children Rough Cut, and it's phenomenal, even though it was a rough cut. It's empowered millions of people to make progress towards restoring peace in northern Uganda. Okay, so remember my lofty claim about the modern approach to movie making. The distinction I want to draw is just to emphasize the fact that the digital revolution has arrived and arrived twice. Modern movie making is accessible. If you have a good short story, you can shoot the damn thing on a cell phone. And I'm not going to stand up here and say everyone can make a decent movie, but my point is that there's almost nothing keeping everyone out there from trying, and there's nothing keeping people from getting involved with someone else who is. And there certainly isn't a shortage of stories. So, accessibility of modern movie making established. How is it used for a tool for collaborative problem solving? How does a movie go from a movie to a movement? I'm going to answer this question from two perspectives, one as a marketer and the other as an economist. The first marketers worked by firelight. They crafted their stories and perfected them around the community hearth, and then the best stories were spread to the neighboring community's fire. Well, in the modern world, we're all marketers, we're all neighbors, and we're all slowly pulling a chair up to the same fire, the internet. But how does a story spread on the internet? And as it does, how do you ensure that that story is contributing to solving the problem that it presents, if you will? And I believe the answer to that is something that I like to call sideways marketing. I don't know if that's a real term, but we'll go with it today. And sideways marketing is basically the idea of taking your warm audience, your family, your friends, your coworkers, and even people who just inherently know about your cause. So in our case, Duchenne muscular dystrophy parents, health advocates. So taking your warm audience and empowering them to spread the message to your external audience, which is people who don't know about your cause naturally and quite frankly might not care off the bat. So here's an example of how Invisible Children uses sideways marketing. They don't sell their DVDs. They sell bracelets that come with DVDs. They take a concept like Uganda that is relatively unknown, and the problem is a lack of awareness, and they associate it with something that is always in demand, style, and they make these cool bracelets, and that way the story spreads. And I know you're thinking like Lance Armstrong invented the rubber bracelet, this is nothing new, but this is a step further, and this is where the collaborative problem-solving part comes in. These bracelets are made by Ugandan citizens, which allows them to have a source of revenue, which of course is a foolproof way to thwart and stifle a war that is based on the manipulation of poor people. The way that we use sideways marketing, I'm actually going to show you another video, and let me frame it just very quickly. This is in the middle of the film. Again, our external audience doesn't know about Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and we need to reach them using sideways marketing. And so we do know that our external audience does know that wasabi is a very, very hot spice. So I'm going to show you a film. Darius has crossed the country now. He's seen the ocean for the first time, mountains for the first time, Las Vegas, and he's in San Francisco now, and he sees wasabi for the first time.
Stories there would be about the animals, but we're actually eating lunch, and we had some sushi and some wasabi with it.
Come on, just give me the sushi.
You want to try it? You know what it is?
And we decided to make a bet on whether Darius will eat a spoonful of wasabi or not.
Are we getting odds on how long you can hold it down?
No water? Dude.
They betted me like $10, eat some good sloppy sauce, and go to sushi.
Somehow, Darius thought that he could handle it.
Eat some good sloppy. Good sloppy.
A whole bunch of wasabi.
I can't say it. Hello. Good sloppy.
I wouldn't do that with wasabi for $100.
Wasabi?
Yeah, with the W.
Okay.
I
can give me $10.
Yeah.
Somebody will.
Definitely.
With no water.
Try it, Casey.
You can drink water.
I can.
Yeah. Try it. All right.
He did that. I don't remember if he threw up, but he was about to throw up.
And spitting this wasabi out.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty disgusting.
Give me something to drink.
And everybody in this cafeteria is just looking over at these crazy kids.
Someone that was around us felt sorry for him.
I don't like people feeling sorry for me. I like wanting them to accept me, and for me, it's the last thing in the world that we need somebody to feel petty for. Well, money.
Okay, so the example of sideways marketing that set up is actually called the Kaslabi Challenge. It's our most vivid example. Basically, we ask our warm audience to commit to eating a spoonful of wasabi, and then to find sponsorship for that spoon, and then to record themselves eating it. And so the video is the sideways marketing part. It enabled, but when they share it to their friends and to their sponsors who definitely enjoy seeing their face inflamed, that transfers our story to them, our formerly external audience. Okay, so let me switch gears to economy for my last point, economics. In order for a movie to become a movement, there has to be a strong freemium presence in the experience. So if you have your story in place and you have your sideways marketing in place, then you should be able to give your story away for free. And so I'm not advocating that you drive down the road and start throwing DVDs out at random strangers, but I am saying that you should be able to post your entire story to YouTube, or you should be able to give DVDs away to a targeted audience and know that you're going to, in the long run or in the short run, raise more money than you would than it cost you to give it away. And so a quick example of how Invisible Children does this is they not only sell a bracelet with one DVD, but it also comes with a second DVD. So every Invisible Children customer immediately has a tool that they can hand to the next person, and that person inherently understands how they can get 2 more DVDs and a cool bracelet. It's a brilliant marketing strategy, works extremely well. Us, we do a slightly different approach. We provide a free DVD for any educator that will get online and claim it. They just have to give us their email address, name, and mailing address. And then about 2 weeks later, we follow up with them. We ask them if they enjoyed the film. They usually do. And then if they say that they did, Darius actually follows up with them and says that he'd be willing to do a Skype with them in their class if they'd be willing to raise $100 for the cause. About 1 out of every 5 teachers responds with a Skype. They usually raise more than $100. And so by giving our DVD away for free, we actually sell it for $20 or more. And not only that, but the teacher teaches it semester after semester, year after year, and we reach more and more students, the generation that will cure this disease. To date, Darius Goes West, and Darius has raised $2 million for Duchenne muscular dystrophy research. So hopefully you can see that if a filmmaker uses sideways marketing and has a freemium model, then suddenly their media becomes something that's worthy of action and dialogue. And when that happens, you don't just have diplomats in a foreign land working to restore peace, and you don't just have scientists working solo in a lab to find a cure for DMD. Instead, you have millions of young people obsessed with the peace effort, and you have thousands of young people, this guy being a colorful example, reaching for a cure together for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. You have a movie turned movement, and the world is one step closer to having one less problem. Thank you.